Well, folks, we're in Denver, Advancing Pre-Construction 2024. I have got the Stack men here with me, Aaron and Ryan. For anybody that doesn't know Stack or hasn't heard of them, give us a quick overview.
Yeah, Stack Construction Technologies, been around for over a decade in the pre-construction space, and now adding a little bit into construction, but primarily started as a takeoff tool, first cloud-based takeoff tool on the market, and then added estimating about 5 years ago. So end-to-end cloud-based takeoff to estimate, real-time, collaborative, all that in the cloud.
Brilliant. So you got a head start on everyone when it came to the cloud.
Yeah, we were a little bit ahead of the curve, I think. So it's always a good thing. So yeah, it's been good for us.
How did the company come about? Like, was it who founded it? Why was it trying to solve a problem? Did it come from a builder itself?
No, it's a great question. So Phil Ogilvy, our CEO, actually has a really good background kind of in construction tech. He founded a company called iSquareFoot years and years ago, with first kind of invitation to bid in the cloud. Really kind of created a category there. And then he and his son, Justin, started Stack almost immediately after that. But what I really love about Phil's background is that he was a builder himself. So he was actually a roofer in Ohio and was really struggling with trying to get estimates out. And he's working all day and then spending his nights trying to get estimates together. And he ultimately started working with Justin. Justin was pretty young at the time, but Justin started building and put together Stack for him to be able to start to do takeoffs and estimates, and helped him, and then ultimately turn that into a business as well.
Yeah, brilliant story. So tell us now about Stack. Obviously, most of my audience is pre-construction managers, estimators. How does it help them, and what unique selling points would you have with Stack?
Yeah. Absolutely. So Stack being cloud-based, first and foremost, really the goal is to kind of help you win more profitable work, just really trim the time off. The manual process, right? What used to take days now takes hours, just being in a cloud-based software. And of course, we're pushing the envelope, with the emergence of AI. Now we want to, trim that down even to minutes, right? So really, it's about getting through that whole complicated process as quickly as possible. That's really the whole goal.
Yeah, and funny, Ryan gave me a demo just before we came on, and it did, in fairness, like I've had demos from most of the tech companies in there, the pre-construction tech companies, and it was seamless. Maybe you just had it pre-built, but it was seamless when you think about an estimator's role, and we'll talk about this again. I mean, estimator's role is completely changing. Traditional estimating was somebody's data entry or just working on numbers. That's not happening anymore, and especially at the tech innovative companies, construction companies. So it was seamless. I just wonder, what else can it do when you think about the takeoff side, but also on the estimating side?
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about where we're going with takeoff, and I'll talk maybe about kind of the estimate side?
Yeah, I mean, really the time for manual takeoff is it's going to reach its ultimate end. I mean, there's really no value to continue to draw simple shapes and lines on a page. Really, the value is I need to quickly get those quantities extracted from the pages, right? I need to understand what the dollars are in this estimate. So really, I think the whole future of pre-construction is more facilitating those kinds of conversations and elevating the estimator up to that strategic role to say, hey, this doesn't seem right, or yeah, this is on track for what we would normally do.
Yeah, and I think when we get to the estimating side, I mean, we were talking about it a little bit before, but it's just we've been so buried in these sort of local on-prem systems for so long. And it feels like, to some regard, pre-construction has been a little neglected. We've seen so much cool innovation come about in cloud technologies for project management and everything else, but we're really pushing that cloud-based estimating. So being real-time collaborative, being able to pull teams together so multiple people can be working at the same time in the cloud is a really big deal to us. We see a ton of distributed teams now after COVID and everything else, so we've got really great team members who are working multiple different locations, and now using a cloud-based system like Stack, they're able to actually get in and see stuff real time together. So we're really excited about where we're going, like a true enterprise level cloud-based estimating, which is something that is fairly new to the industry. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. Now, Ryan mentioned the dreaded AI word. Yeah. How does that, I mean, or first of all, does that scare you when you've got a pre-content, or is it something you just got to embrace and integrate it into your tool?
That's a really great question. It's actually kind of the topic that we're going to be speaking to later this week. AI is, in my opinion, it's still early for the construction industry. Is it to the level that everybody needs it to? Obviously not. But does that mean that we should stop doing what we're doing? Absolutely not. There's so much data hidden within these construction plans and even within the company itself that if AI could just tap into that and learn what that company does, it's going to unlock so much great value for that company. So concerned? No. Excited? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. And you have to have that attitude.
Absolutely.
It's the same as a construction company, mid-sized, that's kind of pushing away from pre-construction technology. If they don't get involved with it right now, in 5 years, they could be looking at going out of business.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the trend. I mean, construction's always been kind of slow to adopt technology to begin with. AI kind of really puts that pressure in there. There's still some time. The models have to mature. They have to get there. But you got to be thinking about it now. It's moving quick.
We talk a lot about the innovation gap, maybe that's kind of starting to happen a little bit, where the bigs are really pushing innovation and technology, and AI is just expediting that. And some of the mid markets and the smaller guys could potentially be left behind if they're not willing to at least start to make ways into at least cloud-based technologies and things.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Aaron. You know what I see? Always the big guys have got the budgets, the R&D departments, the pre-con, the corporate technology advocates within these companies. You see them creating roles. I see a lot of the really good pre-con managers who have maybe understood tech a little bit more. Their role now is 50% tech and 50% estimating. But the companies that I really feel for is the mid cap. The young companies, the guys I've had on these podcasts, they are technologically focused, and tech is becoming cheaper. It's becoming more accessible, and it's becoming cheaper. And then if you use automation tools like AI, ChatGPT, you can do things a lot more faster. So it's the middle guys that say, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm doing 600 million a year. I don't need to change. Why should it change? You keep telling me I'm gonna get blown out. It's fine, but when that time comes, it's gonna be hard to kind of put it in reverse and try and come back from it.
I think that's exactly it. I mean, I think, like you said, you've got kind of these small, agile companies that are able to move really quick and they're able to adopt technology at a reasonable price point anymore. You got the big guys, and I feel like those markets are just going to kind of come into that, take more market from the mid-market companies if they're not willing to kind of start to make some moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the misconception as well is the real big guys, not all of them are as tech focused as people think. They're just plowing along and doing the same thing, and they're probably relying on the relationships a little bit more than. But when you think about, and we'll talk about storytelling, and we're talking about visualization and being able to use the data, provide a lovely storyline to the client. I mean, it's going to catch their eyes.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, you mentioned the data thing, right? And it's just such a big deal, and especially when we focus so much on local systems within pre-construction apartments. So much of that data is getting captured, and it's getting siloed, and we can't do anything with it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things we see is actually the ability to open everything up, interconnect networks. We're open API, so we're able to kind of connect into a lot of the different systems that people use. So not only are you able to do everything you would do in pre-construction, but then be able to share that data with your construction teams and follow project execution. So now you can actually see what the actuals were compared to everything that you did in pre-construction, and then hopefully eventually round trip that all the way back to the beginning of pre-con. So that we're able to use that going forward as well. So
data flowing down and flowing back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're hearing from your clients? They're saying, listen, we need something that can seamlessly integrate with our existing tech stack.
We get a lot of that, yeah, absolutely. There's so many different systems that get used for so many different things. We have so many different stakeholders on projects, and you kind of hit on it a little bit too. But it's not even just within our company. It's also integrating with our subcontractors and our GCs and our owners and architects and everybody. And so the more open all that data and information is, we can still kind of hopefully segment and segregate where we want, but also be able to share it where we need to. So it's huge just for intercompany, but also then sharing externally as well.
And I think that's a good point as well, Aaron, when you talk about sharing. And now, not only sharing data, but sharing ideas and sharing success stories to allow everyone to get there quicker and build bigger, better, safer projects for everyone. Yeah. I don't think everyone's there on the pre-con side. Like, if I think about another industry which is quite close to pre-con on the VDC BIM side, like I speak to VDC BIM teams, they are so open, they're so honest, they are so willing to share information, success stories to help other people. I think pre-con's got a little bit of work to do on that side.
I totally agree. I think obviously things like advancing pre-construction and these conferences and seeing how they're growing and getting bigger. I think people are starting to open up a little bit. I think the new generation in me is a lot more of a connected, collaborative kind of a group as well. So I think we're starting to see more of that just across the industry. I agree with you. We've still got a long way to go. We got a long way to go, but I think I think hopefully we're going the right direction, and I hope that it's just picking up steam. I think. So.
Yeah, I mean, advancing pre-construction, the big thing. It's an incredible conference. I think there's over 1,000 people here over the 3 days. Yeah. That's what we need. We need the best thought leaders in the industry getting together and thrashing it out. But it's kind of one of those things that you can't wait a full year to go and learn something or find out something or ask a question. There's got to be something to plug that gap. I don't know whether it's smaller events, more regionalized events, a community-based thing, but there's definitely a solution there somewhere.
There definitely is, and we've just got to have more conversation throughout the industry, I think. I mean, that's it. We've got to talk more, and we're all about it. I mean, it's funny, people ask us about this competitor or that competitor, and the thing is for us is anybody who's encouraging technology in pre-construction right now is on our team. We're trying to make that happen, and so we're excited to kind of see it, and I hope the conversation just kind of continues that way, and hopefully we'll see more, like you said, more events maybe between this, so that it's not just a once a year thing that we're getting together for.
Absolutely. You mentioned there competition. I mean, competition is good. It really is. It's important that we have it. I don't think we've had it. The legacy systems that we've used within pre-construction estimating, they haven't been updated. They haven't been improved by these big companies. They've just had a run of it. But I mean, we've been in there, we've seen the amount of tech companies in there. Is there a possibility that there'll be too much competition, or do you think it's just a case of get as much competition as, and then may the best survive?
Yeah, I think there's some elements of that. I think it's the rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. And I think the biggest thing I see, I don't know, Ryan, from your standpoint, but is very much if we can at least encourage everybody to get to the cloud, or we can at least be collaborative, anybody who's helping to encourage that right now and get off of the legacy on-prem systems, to me, those even though they may seem like competitors, are very much people that are helping get the industry where they need to get to. And if we can all come together around that, I think there's plenty of market out there for cloud-based solutions. So I'm sure at some point it'll get to a place where the best survive maybe, but right now I think competition's a great thing for everybody.
And you mentioned market there now, Ryan and Aaron. Stack, have you got a particular market that you like going after? Who's your ideal customer?
Yeah, so we really focus more toward trade subcontractors just because of the amount of detail that we can get into. That said, we work with some of the biggest GCs in the country and internationally as well. So we really work well. We've got a really strong base in the small and mid markets, and we've had a really strong focus on the upmarket progression kind of the last 2 or 3 years, and have had some great strides there. So we're really end to end. From the smallest, person just trying to get started to some of the biggest estimating teams in the country. We kind of span the gamut there from a pre-construction standpoint.
Enterprise solution and a
we do very much. Yeah, we can get a small contractor in tomorrow probably doing their estimates within Stack. And big enterprise teams, we've got teams to help them roll out and do everything that they're going to do as well. So, and all the enterprise level security and everything else that they'd expect.
When the tech companies that I've had on always ask this question, because I think that the people listening would want to know, how quickly can you get up and running on Stack? I mean, is it a painful operation, or is it?
Ryan's exactly your guy for this one.
This was my world for quite a while. It really kind of.
Do you want to give me your background?
Yeah. So my I've been with Stack for just celebrated 8 years at Stack. And I started as a senior, not a senior, but as an estimator internally, and then transitioned over to the training team, and then now I'm a product owner in Stack. So I've lived and breathed Stack for eight solid years. And what it boils down to is how much of your workflow do you want to bring over, and how much do you want to really innovate, right? And there's kind of that hard transition of like, well, actually no, some of your process is not going to transfer over, so you got to relearn how to do something new. So in terms of ease of use, you could pick it up in a day. It's very simple, it's very intuitive. If you want to take it to the nth degree, yeah, we're probably going to spend a couple of weeks, a month with you just to make sure all the ducks are in the row, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, things like that. So again, it just depends on what you want to do, but yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah, looking at it in the quick demo, it doesn't look that hard. What is the biggest thing that Stack does when you think about the evolution of it? It's been around for a while now. What's its specialty? Is it the takeoff tool? Is it the estimating side?
I think it's the marriage of the two. Our bread and butter lives with items in assembly, so it's not just drawing the lines and drawing the areas on it, but it's actually putting the material and the labor behind what you draw, so that you can keep those formulas that probably resided in multiple Excel files at one point. It now lives in Stack. You can templatize that, right? You can save it and use it from project to project. So it's really just kind of bringing all of those fragmented tools under one roof and getting from takeoff to an estimate in like 20 minutes. It's pretty quick.
Wow, yeah. Speed-wise, that is quick.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your competitors' kind of timelines for that? I mean, and this is taken out of Excel out of this, like.
Yeah, it really depends. It depends on the size of the estimate and a lot of different things. But we can save. What do we say? You can actually increase. We've had studies that we've done internally that have increased output of bids and estimates by like 30% a year. So for a contractor who's doing more volume work and they're trying to turn out a number of bids, we can increase that easily by like 30% in a year. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's what estimators want to hear. Yeah. So, man, what's the next stage for Stack? What gets you up in the morning? Yeah. Any secret sauce coming down the line?
I would love to share that, but I would probably thrown out if I did. I live and breathe AI, so my entire focus is what's out there in terms of AI. Where does it make sense to incorporate AI? Things like, and again, that's kind of part of our talk for tomorrow. It's not the answer for everything. But yeah, it's going to be an answer for a lot of things, for sure.
And Ryan, whenever you talk about AI, we talked about workflows before. Is it a case that AI won't completely work on all workflows? It'll just be, you'll have to pick and choose? Because I think a lot of people think that AI is this magic bullet.
Oh, it's not. No, it is absolutely not. It's just another tool in your belt. And the common theme that you're going to hear is that it's an assistant, not a replacement, right? There's no way to replace an estimator. They're too core, they're too valuable to a company to replicate and then just throw them out. There's no way to do it. The value is relinquishing all the tediousness and the manual parts and all the things that you could get wrong that you didn't realize you did, that you might have gotten wrong. It's to kind of that second, that little angel on your shoulder is saying, hey, did you think about this? And that's really the value I think AI is going to deliver to a company.
Yeah, no, I would echo everything you said. I think AI obviously is going to be a huge one. We've got the takeoff AI, and there's a number of things we're looking at along those lines. Another couple of buckets, I would say, from the estimating side, this true enterprise level cloud-based estimating is a big deal for us, so we continue to evolve that and add on and build on that. And then I would say partnerships and integrations is another area. So with the Open API, we have some customers who are doing some really, really cool stuff with data and moving things in and out of Stack and things like that, and we're just trying to make that even easier for them. We've got a new integration with a company called Nearmap that allows people to bring in aerial photos for projects or existing buildings. We're doing some stuff with Acumatica and some big ERP integrations, so some other really cool things coming from that standpoint too.
Brilliant, man. Yeah. Exciting times.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, listen, if there's anybody on there now that's saying, you know what, Stack, I need to talk to them, who's the best person to reach out to, and where's the best place to get you?
Yeah, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. Just Henderson at stackct.com, and then also stackct.com. Go to the website, check us out, see what's happening, sign up for a trial, and check out the product.
Demo, yeah. Don't worry, I will put both those or all three of those links down below as well in the show notes. Man, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Gareth. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man.
Yep. Thanks.
Take care.